Morning, students. I am Dr. Vijay Bhandari, Associate Professor in SIIT CSE department. So now I am going to teach you today software and good software. So first, I will tell you about the schemes. So our subject name is software engineering, and code is 403. So there will be a marks distributed. Like, end semester having 70 marks. This will be a total marks, and mid semester exam is having 20 marks. Quiz assignments 10 marks, and end semester 30 marks. Homeworks 20. There will be a total marks 150. So we move to syllabus. You can download the syllabus from this link www.rgb.ac.in/syllabus, and these are the books. First is Pankaj Jalote and Rajiv Mall. Third is R.S. Pressman. Fourth is Somerville. So these are the books, and you can choose your own aspects. Ajalote and Ajimol is um, you can prepare it an integrated approach to software engineering and fundamentals of software engineering from Rajim Mall. Now let's cover the contents. So, let's see the contents. Software versus hardware, characteristics of the softwares and good softwares, software process models, goals of the software models, and characteristics of the software process. So I will tell you about what is the software and definition of software. In next slide, we will see the difference between the software and hardware. And after that, we'll see characteristics of the software and good software. What is a good software and bad software? And software process models. And what are the goals of software models with the so there I cover these topics. I'm going to cover these topics. What is the software? Now, the software, we can say the software is nothing but it is a collection of computer programs and related documents that are planned to provide desired features and functionality and performance. So, we can say that is software is more than just a program code, right? Program is an executable code, for example, which serves some computational purpose. Software is considered to be a collection of executable programming code and associated libraries and documents. So we can say software, when made for a specific requirement, is called software products. So here I will discuss in next slide what is the software and hardware. So basically, I will explain you the difference between the software and hardware. On the hardware versus software, the diagram is given below. So the left side part of the hardware and right side of this, that we talk about the hardware. So there will be headphones, printers, MP3 players, monitors, speakers. These are the output devices. Okay, and if you talk about the software, so that will be like uh, internal security, internet browsers, file sharings, mapping programs, media players, video games, word processors, and applications. These are the uh, softwares in the form of codes. Okay, and we talk about in terms of the hardwares, output devices. Okay, so in real world scenario, we use daily use the when you listen the songs, so you use the speakers, and when you use the computer, so that kind of using the monitors, and when you listen songs, you usually use to headphones, and when you take out print or hard copies, so you use the printer. So it is a kind of hardware. So that are the examples of hardware and software. So many examples. Also scanners, mouse, external drives, keyboards, microphones, joysticks are the example of. And in other side, the operating systems, Windows. Okay. So in real world scenario, students use computers and even computers and operating systems. In terms of software, you can see the operating system, the finest example of software, where you interact with the operating system. Okay, so that is a best example of software. In next slide, we will see the characteristics of the software. So here you can see the first characteristic of the software. Software is developed or engineered. It is not manufactured in the classical sense. Like we can see, there is some similarities exist between the software development and hardware manufacturing, but few activities are fundamentally different. In both activities, high quality is achieved through the good design. Manufacturing phases for the hardware can introduce quality problems. So we can say here software does not wear out. So hardware components suffer from the growing effects of dust, vibrations, abuse, temperatures, extremes, and many other environmental maladies. So here is stated like simply the hardware begins to wear. I discussed in previous slide the hardware example. So hardware used to day by days it wear out, but software is not susceptible to the environmental maladies that causes hardware to wear out. Like the failure rate curves for the software should take the form of idealized, right? So we can say when a hardware component wears out, so it is replaced by a spare part. But there are no option or there are no software. Okay, so here we can say every software failure indicates an error in design or in aspect of the process. Design was translated into machine executed codes. That's why the software maintenance task and that accommodate request for the change involve considerably more complexity than hardware maintenance, right? So, however, the implementation is clear and software does not wear out. As we can say here, there are no software spare parts, right? So, hope so you are understanding these topics, characteristics of the software. Now, I will discuss the good software. What are the good software? After clearing the of the software, we might be understand you might be understanding about the good softwares. What are the good software? So software product can be judged by what offers and how well it can be used. Software must satisfied on the following grounds like first is operational, second is functional, third one maintenance, and fourth one well engineered and crafted software is expected to have the characteristics what we discussed in previous slide. So these are the good software. If we talk about the operationals, so this tells us about the software works in operation. Can be measured on like budget, usability, efficiency, fitness, functionalities, dependability, security, and so these are the operationals. Now, we talk about the transitional and maintenance. So transitional like the aspect is important when the software is moved from one platform to another. So like portability, interoperability, and usability. So here we talk about the maintenance. Maintenance is like the aspect is about how well software has the capabilities to maintain itself in the ever-changing environment. Modularity, maintainability, flexibility, and scalability. So every term has own aspects and right. So now I'm going to discuss the software process model. After clearing or understanding what is software, good software, bad software, Okay, and what is the difference between the software and hardware? After discussing the uh, good software and bad software, so you might be understanding the software process model. Okay, so software process can be defining as the structured set of activities that is required to develop the software system. To solve actual problems in an industry settings, a software engineer or team of engineers must incorporate a development strategy that encompasses the process, methods, and tools. So this strategy is always referred to as process model or a software engineering paradigm. So I will discuss here the goals of the software process model. Okay, so the goals of the software process model is to provide guidance for the systematically coordinating and controlling the tasks that must be performed in order to achieve the end product and their project objective. So a process model defines the of tasks that needed to be performed and the inputs to and outputs from each task, preconditions and the post for each and the sequence on and flow of each. So that is a combination of software process model and goals of the software process model. So you are understood software process model. What are the characteristics of the software process? So this is the topic of like the software process. After the understanding the software, this is the kind of characteristics of the software process. So the major difference between the software characteristics of the software process. So here the software is called single largest cost item in the computer-based applications. The software is a product and it is a different from other physical products. We can say here software costs are included in the engineering, analysis, and design, but not in product. Second is the cost of software is not dependent on volume of the productions. Okay. Third is software does not wear out. I discussed in previous slides in the physical sense, and software has no replacement. Fifth one is the software maintenance is a difficult problem and is different from the hardware physical product maintenance, right? And one is most software is custom built. Last is many legal issues are involved, actual properties, rights, liabilities. So here, these are the characteristics of the software process. And in the terms, if we talk about in the terms of software product user interfaces must be carefully. For example, when you are going to implement the any projects, because of developers of that product and users of that products are totally different. In that case, programs very little documentation is expected. So we have to do a document first, and the software product must be well. Now the program can be developed according to the programmer's individual style of development, but a software product must be developed using the software engineering principles. In the concept is that the correctness, usability, learn ability, integrity, reliability, efficiency, and security. So the first is that correctness. The software which is making should meet all the specifications stated by the customer. We have to understand all the requirements related by the customer. Second is usability, like learning ability, the amounts of efforts or time required to learn how to use the software should be less, and this makes the software user friendly even for the different people. So those are not background having the background of IT, so it makes the software user friendly. Third is the integrity, like medicines have side effects. In the same way, software may have a side effect. May affect the working of another applications, but quality software should not have side effects. We talk about the reliability. Reliability means that software products should not have any defects. Not only this, it should not fail while executions. And we talk about the efficiency. This correct. relates to the way of software uses the available resources. Software should make the effective use of the storage spaces and execute commands desired timing. And, and last is security. So with the increasing in security threats nowadays, this factor is gaining importance. Importance. Software should not have ill effect on data. Proper measures should be taken to keep data secure from external threats. And last but not least, not at least, safety. Software should not be a hazardous to the environment. Like these are the correctness, usability, learnability, integrity, reliability, efficiency, and security. So these are the characteristics of the software. So also you understood this kind of characteristics of the software process. And the question arises in our mind: difference between the software process and software product after discussing this kind of topics. So first, uh, process and software product. The first difference is between the process are developed by the individual user and it is used for the personal use. It is called the software process. But in the terms of software product, it is developed by the multiple users and it is used by the large number of people, so customers. And process, in terms of that process, may be small in size and processing limited functionality. As in software product, multiple program codes, relates documents such as designing documents and user manuals, test cases. So these are the sort of hope so understood. Any doubt? So and I'm giving you the assignment. So I hope so you will complete it. And so I'm giving you the first assignment. Uh, that is a homework type uh, on there. Um, Justify the statement if it is correct or not. If yes, so justify it. Okay, and if no, so why it is wrong. Okay, so software product relies on software process for its stability, quality, and control. So there is only one person use the process and hence lacking on the user interfaces. So justify it. Okay, and you can comment on in box. Uh, okay, so any doubts, so please ask me. Thank you. Any query? Thanks.